Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's block is going to be the card trick. I did this once before, it was very popular, but it was a 14-inch block. Today's is going to be a 12-inch block and obviously Valentine's fabrics. So this is obviously the white one. I got the black one cut out, ready to go. So for it, you're gonna need 4 different fabrics for your cards, and you'll need one that is 5 1/4. I think I did 5 1/2 because I like to have extra. Yeah, you're gonna need one that is 5 1/2 and one that is 5. And also my background fabric is black, so I have one black over here. So I have one of every color on there at 5 1/2. The black 5-inch square, I have 2. So first we're going to cut these in half. So I'm going to do this one a little bit differently because I'm going to do it start to finish with you. The only prep work I've done is cutting these squares. So we're just going to cut the 5-inch blocks in half. So you'll have 4 that are your cards and 2 of your background fabric. And I'm going to run that twice because I need to change that blade. And we're going to set those to the side. This one, however, you're going to crisscross it. I already did the white block and I have half of those left. I don't want to waste fabric. I'll use this one a new block, but you're going to have your whole stack here and you're going to cut it in half twice. So you're going to cut it corner to corner. And I put my spinning mat down so I wouldn't have to move it. And then you're going to do corner to corner again. So you're going to have, I got to change that blade. Okay, so you're going to have 4 piles of that. Again, I only have the black because you only need half of that. So now, like I said, we're going to do this one slightly different because it's a build-a-block in a big way. I do have this. I did make this. You're supposed to put a border around it. I didn't. It's just poster board from Walmart. And this is batting. So once I put it down, if I wanted to pick it up, I could. So first we're going to lay out our cards. So if you look at this block, we're going to do half square triangles, the hourglass, and I don't know the name of this block. If you know it, post it, but I don't know the name of it. But we're going to make 4 of each of those, except for the middle one, that's just an hourglass. So we're going to start with this was the 5-inch block. These are our corners. I'm going to start there because I know what's going there. And then we're going to do the other black ones because I know they're going right here. Because, well, that's where they go. Now you just have to decide which ones you want together, or if it even matters to you. So we're going to do, these are the other half of our triangles. And I'm just going to put them like that. I actually don't know how they are on the other one, but it's fine. This one, however, you're going to put here. You want these 2 to touch. So I'm going to do that all the way around with the matching piece. You're going to want a reference, so if you have to, if you're making this, pause the video on the picture and lay it out. I didn't do it this way last time. I just kind of prepped a little bit of it, but I think it'd be easier if you lay it out and then you know what your pieces are. So then you're going to take your inside piece and it's going to go here. This is our hourglass block that goes in the middle. Then these are going to go here. and once it's laid out, you can sort of see how they're going. Now, we're going to sew it in stages. I'm first going to take over all the half square triangles, and I'm going to sew them together. Yeah, let's just do that, and then we'll come back and we'll do the next step. And we're just going to trim them all at the end. So I'm going to, if I was, well, actually, just how I did the other one. I'm just going to pick it up. I'll put a pin in it. That's the side that's going to go. And then we'll do this one. Because if you pick up too much of your block at once, you might not put it back down right. So if you just do it in stages, it'll go a lot smoother. You don't have to use the pin. I didn't use the pin the first time. I just picked them up. But I thought since you're watching me, I'll just do it this way. Now we're going to go sew all these. And then we'll iron them open and we'll lay them back out. But then we'll move on to the next step. I'm going to take the pin out while I'm over here. I don't like it in on when I'm sewing diagonal that aren't together. So I don't usually do any of these blocks like this, but since I didn't need two of them, there was no point in making two half square triangles. I mean, I could have, maybe I'd have used it on a future block, but I didn't want to. Two more. This video is going to be a bit longer because I didn't do any prep work. Just bear with me. And last one. So at this point, if I was not showing you, I'd have just grabbed another piece to sew. But we're showing you, so we're not doing that. We're going to move this off to the side just a little bit. Just enough to get my pressing mat in here. We're going to iron all these open. We're going to iron them to the black, and even on the other one I ironed it to the colored side or the pattern side because it was darker on most of them, but I went back and ironed them to the black so it would nest with our other squares. I saw it. Y'all thinking, man, she just said that. Now let's iron it to the black. All right, so actually let's go ahead and trim these so we don't have all that trimming at the end. Where is my little square? That's all right, we'll use this one. So we're gonna trim them just like we always do. It's literally right there, you guys. We're going to line up the diagonal as close to the edge as possible. I don't like trimming, so we're going to do it in stages. The last time I did it all at once, and I'm like, oh, this is too much. Then we're going to line up the diagonal again and our 4.5 inch point down here, because anytime you make a 5 inch or a 12 inch square and you are doing it in 3 squares like this, it's going to be 4.5 inches for each one, if you were wondering. Line up the diagonal. Flip it around. Diagonal and your point down here. That'll make your lines line up. Your 4.5 inch lines on the sides. So, I know, I've got a little bit extra there, but I don't waste that. If you've watched me ever at all before, you'll know I'm saving that for stuffing for a pillow. I'm told I could donate some of them to a vet's office. I don't know, the pound. I don't know. I don't have pets. I'm not sure what it's called, but I could probably donate them. So I'm thinking I might make the next one to donate, but I don't know yet. So as I'm trimming these down, I'm just laying them back on there where they go. And I'll move that back in a second for you to see. There it is. All right, let's get rid of these, put them in my pile. So then I just laid them back. They're done. We're done with those. Now we're going to move on to this block. So first we're going to sew this side right here. So I'm just going to fold it over. And I'm going to pin the side I'm going to sew. And I want to start it on this one. So I'm going to turn it this way. And really that gives me some, what do you call it? They're all going to be like that. It'll show me how the pattern fabric indication of how they're all going to look. They're all going to be with the black fabric on bottom if I'm sewing the right side and starting at this point. I'm just going to go around all of them and pin it. And this one. Alright, we're going to head on over and sew these up. Move them to the side there. I am going to take the pin out at this point before I feed them through because, like I said, it's so small. I am a pinner, but this is so small and it's a straight line. I mean, they're all straight lines, I guess, but once I have it here ready to go, and then they're just right beside me, so I can just keep on going. And last one. Get my starter. All right, let's go back over. We're going to move this just to the side again. That filming space is not that big, so I have to keep moving things. Threw my scissors on the floor. It's great. It's fine. There we go. And these I'm also going to iron to the black, just because I did have to go back and re-iron the other one, so perhaps I'll do that on this one. You never know. Or I could have just sewn them without doing that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to move this back. It won't hurt it. We're going to lay these back out. Now, when you're doing this, your black piece, always facing the outside. The other piece is going to match the piece that's there. So if I was to put this here, that's wrong because that's not even. Also, this one's wrong. So now, after you've done this, you want to look at it again. You can see the 4 cards. We're still in good shape. Now we're going to fold this over and we're going to sew the long end of it. Now these are not going to match up because they're 2 different size blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match my point here. Now I could trim it, but we're going to trim it at the end, so I don't want to. And then we're just going to pin it there. So I matched my point with that. Now I'm going to have to adjust it again anyway because I unpin it when I go over there. Or maybe you just throw another pin in or 2 and you just run it right through. But that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to pin them all. And I'm just going to lay it there. It doesn't matter what side you sew it from. I'm going to sew it from this side so my seam glides right under my foot. There. This one, we're going to line up our point. Okay. And one back here. I don't want to pin too much because it is diagonally cut, so I don't want to maneuver it too much, but I'm going to do it some. Alright, now we're going to sew these and we will trim them, and then we just have our last piece there. And again, once you get good at it, you can pin all the parts you can and then keep going. But for now, we're just making one. Alright, we're going to slide it up in there. Well, it's coming apart. So I went to my first actual quilt shop this weekend. It's Friday. This week, I actually went to like 3 or 4 of them. I had somebody send me a fat 1/8 bundle, and the fabric is beautiful. It's so soft. It was a while back. If it was you, please comment. I'm very grateful. However, I do not remember who it was. But anyways, I want to make a quilt out of it. I had to get some fabric to go with it. Some quilting fabric, we'll call it. So I went and I bought some. But the quilt shop was pretty cool. It was fun, exciting. Never been there. Some of them were smaller, but it's okay. If you want to see what I got, you can leave a comment. I'll make a video if you want. They were somewhat local. I think the farthest one was an hour away from me. Alright, we're going to iron these open to the solid block side. Guess you could also call it the pattern block side, but I meant the one without seams. Okay. Now we are going to trim these. And for that, I need to make an adjustment here. I have this tape. And it was very hard to see my 2 1/4 inch mark because, where is the beginning of this tape? There it is. Because, well, it's not actually a line there marking it. So, we'll just use these. It's fine. What I'm going to do is mark a point there for me so I see it. So I'm going to go right here on that line. And then I'm going to do the same here on this one. I don't know what this tape is called. It's called glow line tape. I think I got it at Joann's. But it came in a pack of 3. And I use it for several different things. But I actually think this is what it was meant to do. But again, I don't really know. So now, when we cut these, we are going to, again, line up the diagonal. But we're also going to put this point right here, right in the middle of that tape. Like, not in the middle, but in right here where it meets. We're going to put that right there. Because that is the exact middle of the block. Or it's supposed to be. I really don't know if it is on my other ones. So this one might turn out better. Now we can line up the 4 1/2 down here. And the sides. And the diagonal. And then we can cut it. And there you have it. And I'm going to go ahead and lay that where it goes, just to get it out of my way. But we're going to do it again. We're going to line up the 2 1/4 right there, and the diagonal. I only have half the diagonal on one side of it, but that's okay. That's really all you need. And then you'll line up the 4 1/2 and the line. And really, if you line up 2 of these, it should line them all up. Any 2 should make them all line up. Alright. 2 more. I know, it's making the video longer. If you don't like it, I apologize. Maybe just skip ahead a few seconds. Sorry. If you do like it, well then, you're welcome. This is why I do a lot of the prep work. So you don't have to watch me trim all these blocks. Because, well, I don't do any editing, really. Like, I like to film it and post it. I'm not an editor. It's just not something I do. Alright, 4 1/2. And the diagonal. And all the others line up. Alright, let's lay that down. Get rid of this. Oh my. Alright, last block, the middle one. Might be the most important one, I don't know. So we're just going to fold both these over. I'm going to take this one and put a pin in it right here like this, because I do want to feed it in from this side. And this one, I'm going to, just like that, but I'm going to flip it over and put a pin in it on this side so I don't pin the wrong one. Now, we're not done yet, but we've gotten to the point where we've done this a lot before. To help speed the video along, I'm going to go ahead and fold this over and take it, and we're going to have it pinned. I still did that wrong. We're going to have it pinned, ready to sew, next to go through my sewing machine when I cut those off. So it's going to go down through. I'm going to pin it so I know which side. And then I won't have to use that starter again. So let's go over. let's get these through. And this one. And the first two blocks we're going to sew together because we can. All right. Cut them all loose. I'm going to iron them open. And now we're not just going to pin it. What are we going to do? That's right. We're going to lay it back there because we don't want it to be wrong. So you're going to make sure. Now I have the first two up there, but if these match and these match and these match, those are going to match. So now we're just going to, yep, I did it. I'm just going to fold that over. I'm not getting the iron back out. We're going to fold it over and pin it. And we're going to go get this one sewn. But again, we are just going to, or we're also going to grab these two because they are ready to go. So we're going to pin it because again, it's not usually where I do this at, so I don't want it to be wrong. I'm going to pin it here. Let's go back over. Make sure the seams are going the right way. Sew this down through. Cut them off. Move it slightly to the side. We're going to iron them. Let's go ahead and iron this one. No, that's right. We're going to lay it up there. I will show you, I promise. We're going to iron this open. And we're going to trim it to 4.5. So again, you're going to take your 2 1/4 dot, or point, we'll call it, and line it up there, and your diagonal line. Alright, and then we'll spin it, same thing, diagonal line, 4.5 down here, 4.5 inch lines, and your 2 1/4 inch dot. And as long as 2 of them line up, you are good. Now, this one's a little extra. We're going to turn it back around. There. Wouldn't really have hurt it, at least not for me, but you know. Alright, so then we're going to lay it back where it goes. Again, I know I don't have them all, but if these 3 line up, the other one's going to be right. So now we're going to go ahead and take this over and sew it. And then we'll come back and we'll pin the other sides. Actually, I'm just going to start cutting them off just like I usually do. not cutting them off, just reaching over and grabbing them. We'll get our rows together and we'll be back. Oh, I have a seam there I want to pin for. That seam got twisted. It's okay though. You do want to match up your seams where you can, where you have to. And cut both these off. Just hold it there. And we'll grab the last one. Oh yeah, this video is getting pretty long. It's 30 minutes already. Well, if you're still with me, I appreciate it. All right. Let's get back over here. Alright, just like usual, and there's no real rhyme or reason, I'm ironing the top ones to the outside and the middle one to the inside. The top and the bottom, I guess I should say. Just because it's what I always do. Alright, so we're going to lay it back out. And double check yourself again now. Do all your cards look right? Oh, I love this black one. Oh my goodness. I'm torn every time I make a new one. I like the opposite color. It really is pretty. All right. And I'm just going to pin both sides here now. I know sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But this time I am. Maybe. There we go. Now we're going to flip it up and fold this and do this side. Just put a lot of bulk in some of these seams, or whatever you call it, areas. I guess if you pressed them open. I've never done that. Perhaps I'll try. I don't know. All right, let's go sew it. more seam to go, and we're done. Very bulky there. All right. Are y'all ready for it? I am. I'm going to iron it open to the top and the bottom, I guess. Oh, I like it. I like the black one better. I don't know. It's different every time. It's a little off there, or whatever. All right, there it is. I like it. Tell me what y'all think. I did not do that on purpose, but I did them exactly the same. I guess that's because when I laid them out, I did it how I liked it, so, right? No, I didn't do them the same. Why does it look different? Oh, I sewed it wrong. Do y'all see it? I didn't sew it wrong. Why does it look different? Because I did them in the same order. They're just different. There, I see it. I see it. It's, guys, false alarm. I'm sorry you had to witness that. I like it. Tell me what you think, which one you like better, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.